Episode 43. We're back on the normal episodes. We're back to the normal, beautiful things that is All the Everything podcast. Tim, what's going on, my man? That was a mouthful of words.
This is All the Everything is the podcast.
The podcast is here.
All the things for here
now.
Yeah, it feels. I mean, we wrapped up summer series last week, and now we're back into our normal episodes. So we're episode 43, like you said, and not only is this episode fun and full of laughs and maybe chills down your spine, but it kind of feels like we've been here before, Billy.
It does kind of feel like that. You know why? Because
Tell us why.
The wonderful world of the digital internet, where things just happily just disappear on you, and you wake up and you're like, "Where the heck did it go? It's not here." So yeah, this is a redo
rewind.
On this really good series that we did. We had 2 amazing episodes ready for y'all, and just disappeared in the ether.
Gone in 60 seconds. Yeah,
that's right.
Maybe one time on our socials, Billy, we can post our text chain when we realize all these episodes are gone. As long as it's PG, yeah.
Blur.
Yeah. Redacted.
Yep. Oh, but yeah, we lost these 2 episodes. We go to download them and to edit, and they're not there. So
they gone.
Yep. We ended up losing 3 total. We already redid one on our fast food episode.
Oh, the McRankings. And that actually turned out better because we'd already done it.
That's right. So hopefully for y'all, part 2 will be even more, but you won't know either way. So
yeah, exactly. If we didn't bring you into the inner circle, the circle of trust, as we talk about here, then you would never know. But, we love you guys and we want you to be part of this journey.
That's right.
So with that being said, I think we should just hit them with it, right?
Let's roll. Tide.
No, dang it.
Well, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. Are you ready, my friend?
You better believe it. Let's get into all the everything, y'all.
All the everything, we've got it all. We've got it all, small, weird, or tall. So grab your snacks, sit back, don't stress, cause Tim and Billy talk about the randomness. Information prone to UFOs will take you where the weirdness goes. It's 2 guys talking way too loud about stuff that makes no sense, but we're kinda proud.
Well, welcome back to yet another amazing episode of All the Everything podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Tim Sawhook, and I'm joined by the best in the biz, the guy who's going to talk about Alabama probably today. You know him, you love him. Roll Tide, Billy Parchman.
What's going on, my man? What is going on?
Oh, I'm ready for this episode. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is.
Yeah, something we didn't talk about in the opening is college football. I saw your hat.
Yes, sir. It's a big week. It's game number 1 for
who's Alabama playing?
Florida State.
Is that much of a threat to you guys?
You never know. I think we're gonna win. I think we're gonna win pretty well because their new quarterback, who left Boston College last year because he got benched. So this is their new quarterback. I don't know. He might be awesome, but he came out, started running his mouth a little bit, saying, "Hey, they don't have Nick Saban to save them anymore.
Ooh.
They've never seen me." He gave them some locker room posters, my friend.
Big balls.
That's right.
Huge. Yeah.
Huge. So we will see. I'm excited to see this team. Right now we're undefeated, so let's go.
There you go. Yeah, the kickoff to college football is always fun. That Saturday energy is like crazy. So
let's see. Living in a college town,
yeah,
when there's 100,000 new kids come in every year, and nobody knows how to drive, and traffic gets crazy. I hate it. I love the summers. But when that happens, the the silver lining is football is not that far off. So
That's true. You can smell it in the air.
yes,
It's
yes.
football time. All right. Before we get sidetracked by
Yep.
college football, I saw this hat and we had to talk about it. Anyhow, so this is one of the stories we talked about at the very beginning. We had already recorded before. It's really good. A lot of fun information there. So I'm going to let Billy always kick it off to what we're going to do. So, Billy, what are we talking about today, my friend?
Well, there is this really special website that is very entertaining, high drama. You could find basically anything. It is the internet. But we're
Yeah.
talking about Reddit. And so today we're going to be sharing some of our favorite Reddit stories with you all in this 2-part series. So come back next week for even more awesome, amazing stories. But yeah, today, part 1 of the Reddit stories.
Yeah, we try to jam everything into one episode, but there were so many amazing stories. We're like, we have to break this up.
Yep. And so this time on part 2, we're just going to roll with it and just do 2 separate ones.
There we go.
Make it more clean for all y'all.
Clean for Billy, who's editing and everything.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Today, my goal is to cough so much in the microphone without muting it, just so you have to edit it.
Oh, that's very
I'll
nice.
show you. No,
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, so we both got 4 stories for you today. And I think we
Yeah.
should just get into them. Billy, you want to kick us off today?
Let's do it.
All
so
right.
my first couple of stories are going to be, if you ever read Reddit stories, they have different themes sometimes. And these first 2, they give you an acronym, TIFU,
Okay.
which stands for time I messed up, if you will.
Oh.
You're like, wait, that's an
Wait,
M.
what?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're family friendly here as much as
Yeah.
possible. So my first 2 ones, time I messed up. And this title is Throwing My Steak Out the Window. Oh,
Wait. Never throw a steak out the window.
never throw a steak out the window. Okay, so
Come on. Okay.
my wife and I were invited to dinner at my boss's house. It was a fancy affair, and I was super nervous. I'm not great in social situations, especially when it involves my superiors. Dinner was served, and to my dismay, the steak was undercooked. I'm not one to complain, and I tried to eat it, but I just could not. I didn't want to offend anyone, so I came up with the brilliant idea. I would discreetly get rid of the steak. I noticed that the window was open, and I thought, oh, I could toss this steak without anybody noticing. So,
Great
idea. Bing, light bulb, right? So I grabbed the steak with my hand and gently shook off the juice, and I executed the perfect throw right through the center of the open window.
Nice.
Or so I thought.
Oh, God, no.
Turns out the window was closed.
Oh, my God.
It was so clean and clear that I didn't realize it was shut. The steak hit the glass with a loud thwack and just slid down, leaving a trail of juices. Like,
Oh, my God. And the noise, too. I can picture the noise sliding down. I can hear it.
right? Everyone turned to look. My wife just stared at me in horror. My boss's face was a mix of confusion and disbelief. I had no idea what to do. So I just blurted out, "I'm so sorry. I thought the window was open." There was
Like, that's a better excuse.
Yeah. Hey, it's the truth, I guess. There was this awkward silence, followed by my boss busting into laughter. Thankfully, everybody joined in. Needless to say, I was mortified, but at least it broke the ice. And so that was the time I messed up by throwing my steak out the window.
I mean, who thinks that's a good idea? You know what? I'm
Right.
going to be discreet. I'm going to throw it out the window.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
You
You
said
could
the
have always
windows are
just
so
played
clean?
yeah, right? You could have just been like, "Oh, you know what? I'm super full. I'm sorry. I'm on this new medicine."
There you go.
That would have been a great loophole. Acceptable. Okay,
Yeah.
take a bite or 2 and then, just swallow it down.
Choke it down.
Chug it down.
Yeah.
But
You
no,
will
let's
like
throw it out the window. Let's throw it out the window.
Could you imagine that conversation he had with his wife on the way home?
Oh my gosh. He heard it in the car. He heard
Yeah.
it in the car. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, you know that boss tells that story like every time someone comes over for dinner.
Oh yeah. That's like a lifelong story right there.
Oh yeah. You
Shoot.
might put a sign on the window like this window is closed. It's so clean. You know, we did a great job cleaning, so it looks amazing. But
Yep.
all right, well, that's a good one. It's a good start.
Thank
Stake
you.
out the
Thank you.
window.
Yeah.
All right, let's see
Stake
if I
out
can
the
top
window.
that one.
Come
I'm
on.
not going to tell you the name of the story because it's going to give it away. a little
Give it
bit.
away. Okay.
So, you know, when you're a kid, your brain isn't fully developed and everything's like a good idea. Yeah,
Right.
this is one of those stories. So, back when I was in primary school, probably around 8 or 9 years old, I had a best friend who was always down for whatever dumb stuff we came up with. He wasn't the ringleader type, more like the guy who'd say, sure, why not? And then commit 100%. Anyway, one day during recess, we're hanging out near the edge of the playground where there's a good, big, huge group of tall trees. That's where the cool kids went to talk about Pokemon, do dares, and avoid adult supervision. You know,
Right. Mm-hmm.
sounds about right.
Yep.
And for absolutely no reason, probably just to make the group laugh, I dared my friend to climb one of the trees and poop from it. Now, in case
What?
you thought, like, did Tim say poop from it? I did. Climb one of the trees and poop from it.
No.
I wasn't expecting him to say yes, because it was one of those dumb throwaway dares, right? Like, you know, eat the bug or lick the slide. But this kid, he just looked me dead in the eye and says, okay. Before I can even process what's happening, he's already halfway up the tree like a raccoon with a mission. He finds this nice thick branch a few feet up, pulls down
No.
his pants and squats. At this point, kids are starting to gather. Some are giggling, some are just confused, but nobody's stopping him. And then it happens. The first poop drops.
Oh gosh.
Could you imagine this? It falls like a sad little acorn from the
Oh,
sky,
no.
lands with a soft thud on the grass below. Immediate chaos, screaming, laughter. One girl yells, "He's really doing it!" And just when you think the story is over, oh no, it gets better. A teacher, hearing the commotion, comes stomping across the playground. She's furious. She's got that "I've had enough of your nonsense" face, storming toward the crowd like a boss battle. She's almost there, about 10 feet from the tree, when my friend drops the second one, right as she looks up. Drops a second poop. Now, it doesn't hit her, but it lands dangerously close to her, like inches away from her sensible flats. She lets out this horrified gasp, and I'll never forget when she shouts, "Get down from that tree right now!" Fast forward 5 minutes, my friend's being escorted to the office like a war criminal. Kids are still laughing, some are traumatized, and me, I'm just standing there in total disbelief that he actually did it.
Wow.
Later that week, the school was fenced off from that tree area. Officially, it was for safety reasons, but we all knew it was because of the incident. And that's how my best friend became a playground legend. Not for his athletics, not for academics, but for being the only kid in school history to poop out of a tree like some kind of deranged woodland creature. He says the moral of the story is never underestimate how far a kid will go for a dare.
The kid was like, bet.
I gotta poop anyhow, so I might as well do it from the tree.
Oh
You know,
no. I wonder if they took him to like the bathroom afterwards so he could, like wipe or whatever. Like
I'll have to ask for a follow up in the Reddit thread. Did he get to go wipe his butt afterwards? Oh my gosh! Just the fact that the teacher, as she's walking over, he poops the second time for the tree and almost hits her on the feet.
It's too hard. I don't know. Like I usually have I'm about lost it.
Oh, don't do that noise. No,
That's
don't
why
do
it was,
Stop it, because I will really puke.
that would be internet gold.
Yeah. So yeah, that was known as the pre-pooping incident at the school. So
Yeah. Oh,
you
gosh.
start with steak, I start with poop. Here we go.
There you go. Oh my gosh. Oh, hold on. I need a second
Take
to
Deep
a
breath.
Yep. Catch my stomach here. I could
Just think of sriracha. Sriracha,
Kid.
it's your best friend. Bloody Marys, Billy. Bloody Marys.
Kids, man, kids.
They'll poop anywhere. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, yeah, they don't care. Yep.
So what do you got for us?
This is my the time I messed up story.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'll just jump into the story. Here we go.
All right, go for it.
Okay, this actually happened yesterday and I'm still shook. My girlfriend has this cat, Simba, who is a total diva. He hates everyone except her, but
Mm.
since we've been dating a while, I've tried to bond with him. Mostly, I just get ignored and hissed at, typical cat stuff. But yesterday, Simba started sneezing a lot and looked really congested. Simba has a
Mhm.
cold.
Oh,
My girlfriend was really worried, and I said, "Hey, we should take him to the vet." And I volunteered to take him because I was off of work and I wanted to prove to her that I'm responsible or whatever.
right.
Still trying to build those brownie points.
Oh,
I
yeah,
get it.
for sure.
I get it. I carefully put him in his carrier, which, by the way, Simba hates. So he screamed and hissed and scratched like I was torturing him. It's scary trying to get. Have you ever tried to put a cat in a
Oh,
cat
yeah.
cradle in
That
Simba?
low growling sound they make, like
Oh
deep, like guttural. Yeah,
no, that's yeah.
like
It's
they're dying. Yeah.
it's an event. Yeah. So we get to the vet clinic, and I'm feeling pretty confident. I walk inside, and I realize it's busier than I was expecting. A lot of other pets and their owners waiting. I find the check-in desk, and I try to explain what's going on with Simba. The receptionist asks for our info. I hand over my girlfriend's details because, it is her cat. And here's where things started going sideways.
Oh no.
Suddenly, a tiny chihuahua in the waiting room lunges at the carrier like it's an enemy combatant. Simba loses it, claws her at the mesh. The whole carrier tips over, spilling the cat right onto the floor.
Oh no.
Chaos ensues. I'm scrambling to grab him while this chihuahua's owner is yelling at her dog, and Simba is darting around under chairs like a furry ninja. Everyone's staring, and I'm mortified. Finally, I grab Simba. He's now soaking wet because he accidentally knocked over a water bowl in the commotion. The receptionist looks at me like she's about to faint. We finally get called in, and the vet examines Simba, who is just glaring daggers at everyone.
I bet.
Turns out he just has a mild cold, nothing serious, relief all around. Then on the way out, I realized I left the cat's carrier door open on the exam table and had to go back to the back. Somehow, another patient's parrot flies free when I open the door and starts shrieking and flying around the clinic.
Oh my gosh.
The vet staff and I are chasing this parrot while we're trying to secure Simba. Eventually, the parrot is caught, but the vet turns to me and says, "You really brought the chaos with you today, huh?" I laugh
That's not nice.
nervously. I apologize profusely. The vet says, "Look, you're banned from bringing Simba here again without supervision. I swear, I just wanted to disappear. My girlfriend hasn't stopped laughing at me all day. I just hope Simba doesn't hold a grudge."
That's great. Like it sounds like a movie plot, like where the
Oh my gosh.
animals all release and they're chasing each other around a thing, and
There's dogs chasing cats. There's parrots flying all over the place, knocking things over. Madhouse. It's a madhouse.
it's like everything he thought couldn't have gone wrong went wrong.
Oh
didn't it?
man.
Him leaving the door open. What a ding dong.
Ding dong. Got to do better.
That's
It's a rookie
stupid ding
mistake.
dong.
Rookie mistake. Come on now.
You suck.
You suck.
Hashtag Taco Bell. All right. If you don't know what that means, go back and listen to our Mick Rankings episode, and you'll know what that story is about. Because I don't think Billy sucks, and just.
Oh, thank you.
All right. All right. I'm going to jump right into my second story here.
Okay.
So let me tell you a story that gives me chills whenever I think about it. It's about a Reddit user who shared something so strange, so eerie that it stuck with me.
Oh.
And once you hear it, you'll understand why. It all started when the user, let's call him Nate, was around 8 years old, living in a small suburban neighborhood with his parents. Pretty normal area, quiet streets, close-knit community, but something happened during that time that would haunt him into his adulthood.
Oh no.
I know. One summer night, Nate and his cousin were playing in the backyard. The sun had just dipped behind the trees and dusk was settling in. The air was warm and the sound of crickets filled the silence between their laughs. And that's when they heard it for the first time. A whistle, slow, deliberate, and far away. It wasn't a happy tune or anything random. It was the same pattern over and over again. 2 notes, a pause, then the same 2 notes again. So it sounded like whistle, whistle, pause, whistle, whistle. The boys froze. They looked at each other, unsure if the other had heard it too. But as they listened, it grew a little louder and a little closer. The whistling didn't seem threatening at first, just odd. So curiosity got the better of them. So they moved toward the back of the fence to see if they could spot who was doing it. But no one was there. And just like that, the whistling stopped. Well, fast forward a few nights later, Nate was in bed trying to fall asleep when he woke up to a strange feeling. You know that sensation when something just isn't right? He glanced at the clock. It was 3:03 a.m. And then he heard it, that same exact whistle, the same exact two-note pattern, slow, steady, outside his window. Only this time it was much closer. But his room was on the second floor, so it wasn't like someone could just be standing outside, casually whistling up at him. And yet the sound was unmistakable. It chilled him to the bone. Too scared to look out, he ducked under the covers and stayed frozen in fear until sunrise. Over the next few weeks, it kept happening. 3:03 a.m. every night. Whistle, whistle, pause. Whistle, whistle. And sometimes it sounded like it was right beneath his window. Other times it sounded like it came from down the street, but always at the same time, always that same tune. Well, his parents, they chalked it up to his imagination, maybe a bird or a neighbor messing around. But Nate knew what he'd heard. He felt it. And then one night, it just stopped. Just like that, the whistler didn't come. Not the next night or the night after that. Eventually, Nate convinced himself it had just been a weird dream or maybe a prank that had ended. He moved on with his life, grew up, left, went to college, got a job, moved out. Years passed, but he never forgot that sound. And now here's where it gets really creepy. One night, Nate was visiting his parents. They were sitting on the back porch, catching up over drinks. It was a quiet evening, and just like the first night so many years ago, and then they heard it. Whistle, whistle, pause, whistle, whistle. They both froze. Nate felt the blood drain from his face. He turned to his dad, who looked just as pale. You heard that right, Nate asked. His dad nodded slowly. That same damn tune, he whispered, from all those years ago. This time, though, they decided to investigate. They grabbed flashlights, slowly crept into the yard, but as soon as they stepped off the porch, the whistling stopped. They walked around the house, nothing. No people, no movement, just that eerie stillness in the air. They never saw anyone, but the next morning when Nate went to leave, he noticed something in the dirt beneath his old bedroom window. Footprints. Human, barefoot, and large. Larger than any adult he knew. The tracks led away into the woods behind the house, but there was no clear trail after that. Since then, Nate says he only heard the whistle once more in a different town outside a hotel he was staying in for work. It was 3:03 a.m. The same two-note whistle drifted through the darkness just outside his window, and then it vanished, never to return again. But every night since, he checks on the clocks when he wakes up, and if it's ever 3:03 a.m., he doesn't move. He just listens because he knows the whistler is still out there.
The whistler.
Woo!
Okay. There's two different scenarios that there's a backstory here somewhere, right?
Yes.
Either, the Ghostbusters were on the case. They caught the ghost or whatever, the whistler ghost. And then years later, he escaped. So there was a little pause, right?
Oh, okay.
Yep. Or it could be some crazy criminal who was arrested and had to spend, 10 to 15 in the joint, right?
Yeah.
But then he's out and he's back whistling. I don't know.
I like the backstories, Billy.
Yep.
Well, the creepy part, it was like outside of a different city when he was on a hotel for work.
Stalker whistler.
Yeah. It gives me the chills reading it. Even though I've read this before, reread it, and I read it again this morning just to make sure I had everything right. And it still gives me chills, like picturing that.
Nope.
Not today, Satan.
Not today.
Stop whistling.
Yep.
Stop whistling.
Yep.
So anyhow,
That's right.
that's my first creepy one. So I can shake out the chills. Hopefully you bring us something to take us down.
Take us down. Well, our next story here is the time I accidentally joined a secret society at a stranger's house party. So I think it's probably going to get a little weird.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, buckle up because this one's a wild ride. I like how they started that off, right?
Wild ride.
So a few years ago, I was out with some friends in a new city that I just moved to. And we ended up going to this random house party because, well, that's how you meet people, right? The place was packed, loud music, everyone's dancing and drinking, a typical party scene. While I was standing by the snack table, a guy comes up to me, all serious looking, and says, "You look like someone who's up for an adventure." I laugh and say, "Sure, why not?" Then he whispers, "Follow me." I follow him because that's what one would do. I follow him through a crowd back to a back room where about 10 people are sitting in a circle, candles lit, Some weird guy is there with some weird symbols on the floor. It looked like something straight out of a cheesy horror movie. The guy says, "Welcome to the Brotherhood of the Flaming Pineapple." I blink. Wait, what? Now, pause the story here for a second. I would be out that door because if you know anything about pineapples and the symbolism, especially on some cruises or, if you're walking in and there's a upside down pineapple like magnet on the door, just keep on walking because they like to party. Just say it. If
Don't
you
listen
know,
too close.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Plug your ears and just keep on walking. If you know, you know. So I blink.
Sounds like Billy, So
I don't know. I don't know like that, but I know the legend because I didn't know that legend, and I had just recently bought this like new Hawaiian type shirt that had pineapples all over it.
Oh,
and then I hear that's a thing. Like literally, like right after I bought this shirt, never wore that shirt because.
Well, let me chime in at it. I knew it was a thing, and I still wore a pineapple shirt to all inclusives. Leslie hated it. Matter of fact, the last time I wore it all inclusive, she made me throw it away. So it's in it was trash and all inclusive. I just kept doing it to defy her a little bit, and I thought it was kind of funny.
And then she had to put her foot down and said, "Nope, I'm going to burn it."
Nope, we're burning this thing. Put it in the trash.
Oh my gosh.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Because for it's swingers. They're swingers.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Okay,
that's what it is. If you don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
If you're a swinger, you already knew. So
yep. Apparently, this was a secret society that met monthly to share bizarre stories, play ridiculous games, and do ridiculous rituals involving pineapples. The catch: you can only join if you completed their initiation ceremony. I wasn't about to back out now. That's bold. I said, really? Bring it on. The initiation, I had to wear a ridiculous pineapple costume that they had hidden in the closet and perform the dance of the sacred fruit. It's getting weird, y'all.
Yeah, weird. Exactly.
Basically flailing around while everybody else chanted nonsense words while I was sweating, laughing, and feeling like the biggest dork ever. Because #you are. But it didn't stop there. Then I had to drink something they called the juice of the forgotten gods, which tasted like a mix of pickle juice and cough syrup.
Oh my gosh.
These are adults, y'all. I barely barely survived that part without throwing up. After all, they cheered, they slapped me on the back, and they declared me an official member of the Pineapple Crew. They gave me this tiny pineapple-shaped pin and told me my first task was to bring a pineapple to the next meeting. Now, for the rest of the party, people kept coming up to me and asking about the flaming pineapple. Somehow, I became the party's main attraction. I left that night exhausted, smelling like pineapples, but with a story no one would believe. Over the next few months, I actually went back a couple of times because honestly, it was hilarious and the weirdest social club I have ever been in. And so that is the tale of the Flaming Pineapple Crew.
That is so crazy.
It's so weird.
It's totally weird. It's super weird, but it sounds like it could possibly be fun, though.
It's like there's so many red flags. There's so many red flags, but it works out, which is not normally the case when you have so many red flags. So there you go.
Yeah, that dude walked through red flag after red flag to get to the end of the road there, and it turned out to be okay for him, I guess. But there was a lot of red flags.
But here at All the Everything Podcast, we don't recommend going through that many obstacles for your safety.
Maybe one red flag.
Maybe one.
Not 3 or 4.
No.
And don't drink the juice.
Don't drink
it.
Don't do it.
Never drink the juice.
Never drink the juice.
I think I may have done everything else there except for drink the juice because I'm like, I'm not going to know what these people put in this drink.
Right.
It could be anything. That was good. I just picture this all happening like someone tapping a guy on the shoulder. Hey, you look like you're up for an adventure.
Yep.
Who are you? Yeah.
I like
Go and get. Yeah. All right, that was a good one. I like that. All right, moving on to my third story here. So let me tell you a story that doesn't just test the limits of what a human body can survive, but also what the human spirit can endure. This comes from a Reddit user, an American soldier, who opened up about an experience during deployment that is nothing short of miraculous. It's one of those stories that makes you sit back and say, how did they live through that? The post was titled something simple like, I got hit over 50 times and lived.
Oh, wow.
But what it contained was far from simple. So here's what happened. The soldier, whose name wasn't shared for privacy and security reasons, was stationed overseas, somewhere in the Middle East. His unit was assigned to patrol a high-risk zone that had seen a surge in enemy activity. It was the kind of mission that no one ever feels good about going into, the kind where your instincts are already telling you something's not right, kind of like the Pineapple Club. And they weren't. On that day, everything changed. It was supposed to be a routine convoy operation. His team rolled out in a small caravan with military vehicles, weaving through a narrow, dusty stretch of road flanked by crumbling buildings. He was riding in the gunner's seat, exposed, alert, scanning for anything suspicious. The first explosion came from underneath. An IED, which stands for Improvised Explosive Device, was planted beneath the lead vehicle. The boom was deafening. Smoke and fire erupted. The shockwaves slammed into them, flipping the truck like it was a toy. Then all hell broke loose. Gunfire everywhere. They were ambushed from multiple sides. Enemy combatants hitting on rooftops and alleys, behind broke down vehicles. Bullets rained down like hail. The soldier was thrown from the vehicle, dazed by consciousness. His ears were ringing. His body screamed with pain, and then he got hit. Once, then again, and again, and again. Over 50 times. Now, let's be clear. He wasn't shot 50 times. The injuries came from brutal combination of shrapnel, bullet grazes, blunt force trauma, burns, lacerations, and at least 3 full bullet impacts to his body armor.
God bless.
I know. His vest took multiple rounds to the chest plate. 1 bullet caught him in the leg, another in the shoulder. Shrapnel tore him into his side. He was bleeding, broken, but somehow still breathing. So he was in and out of consciousness, lying behind a chunk of concrete, using it for cover. Through blurred vision, he watched several of his brothers fight through the chaos to drag wounded soldiers, including him, out of the kill zone. He said the pain was indescribable, like his nerves were on fire. But what haunted him more than the pain was the silence that followed. When it was all over and the dust had settled, he was only one of the few who made it out alive. He flatlined twice in the medevac chopper, once more dying on the operating table. Doctors later told him that he almost called it because his heart had stopped for over a minute.
Oh,
He had shattered bones, collapsed lungs, torn muscles, and massive internal bleeding. But somehow he came back. It took months of surgeries, endless physical therapy, painful, grueling recovery. He had to learn how to walk again. He had how to talk through scarred vocal cords, how to live in a body that felt like it had been pieced together with duct tape and sheer will. He shared that the emotional scars were worse than the physical ones. Survivor's guilt, PTSD, flashbacks that came without a warning, the weight of being alive when others weren't. But in his post, he wasn't asking for sympathy. He wrote as a message of resilience, of gratitude, of respect for the men who didn't come home, for the medics who brought him back from the edge. He ended the story with a line that hit hard. I shouldn't be here, but I am. And every day I wake up and I live for the guys who don't. This wasn't a movie. It wasn't a Netflix special or military drama. It was real. And it's a reminder that the quietest people in the room often carry the heaviest stories. The soldier who survived the impossible is still out there, walking, healing, remembering, because some wars don't end when the bullets stop flying. It's miraculous. It's sad. It's the will to fight, to stay alive.
Yeah.
And so let's just say here, we thank you for your service for all of our veterans and active duty military everywhere around the world and here. Thank you for everything you guys do to let us be free to be here and do a podcast today talking about all the everything. We really appreciate you guys so much.
Absolutely. Wow. Goodness gracious.
It's a heavy one.
That one's a heavy one.
Important story to tell, though.
Absolutely.
All right. For your last story, Billy, you have anything a little bit lighter?
Yeah, we're going to go a little lighter on this one. This one
Okay.
is, a lot lighter. And so this one is entitled, I accidentally joined a secret motorcycle club in Europe. So the adventures,
a lot of secret clubs.
lots of clubs. This is the club episode here. So about 6 years ago, I, 26 male at the time, took a solo backpacking trip through Europe. I was in between jobs. I had some savings and decided, it's time for my eat, pray, and love moment, minus the
Mhm.
love and the praying, but plus way more food and beer. Okay.
All right.
My plan was simple: bounce between hostels, eat everything I saw, and take in the sights. Pretty standard stuff. One night, I found myself in a small town in southern Germany, quaint, beautiful, and seemingly obsessed with motorcycles. There were bikes everywhere, people in leather vests and patches, loud engines echoing throughout the streets. I figured there must be some kind of biker festival going on. I was at the bar naturally, and I started chatting with this guy named Carl. He's a big dude, mustache that could, get its own passport. He had this patch on his vest that said something in German that I couldn't pronounce, but he was super friendly and insisted that I have a drink with him. Now, I'm no lightweight, but Carl drank me under the table. It was like he had a hollow leg. I tried to keep up, but I failed miserably. The next thing I know, I'm at some bonfire outside of town with what I can only describe as a biker cult. There were about 30 guys, all wearing the same vest with different patches. Some had axes tattooed on their arms. There was this meat on a spit. People were dancing, and at some point, someone drove a motorcycle through the lake.
What?
It's like now we have a party, right?
Yeah. Let's
Um,
go.
I should have been scared, but I wasn't. I was having the time of my life. Then Carl pulls me aside and goes, "You ride, yes?" Now, here's the problem. I don't ride motorcycles. I've never
Oh
ridden
no.
a motorcycle in my life, but I had like 5 shots of schnapps and 1 beer that tasted like regret. So, what do you say? Absolutely. Like, I just passed the test. He said, "You ride with me tomorrow then to Austria." Like, what?
Uh.
Okay. Like, I wake up the next morning in a tent. My head is pounding. I'm wearing someone else's boots. Outside, the bikers are gearing up. Carl hands me a helmet and says, "Ready?" And that's how I ended up on the back of a Harley Davidson going 140 kilometers per hour and on these winding alpine roads, hanging on to Carl, who, by the way, had an actual wolf tail tied to his vest as we rode with this biker crew through Germany across into Austria. The whole ride, I'm thinking, this is it. This is how I die. I'll fly off this bike and then they'll bury me here in some lederhosen. But we make it. We pull into this other village, which I later Googled and found out was known for cheese and ancient salt mines. And these people greet us like we're returning heroes. Beer, music, fireworks. I'm not kidding. Fireworks. They kept calling me Yankee Doodle, which was kind of weird, but I went with it. Turns out I had unknowingly stumbled into some kind of unofficial motorcycle brotherhood gathering. Not a gang, not illegal, just this massive group of European motorcycle enthusiasts who meet every summer in secret locations, like
Okay.
a biker's version of Fight Club crossed over with Oktoberfest. I end up spending 4 days with them. I learned how to flip sausage with a wrench. I played what I think was a German drinking version of dodgeball. Carl
Okay.
taught me how to actually ride a bike in a field. I fell over 3 times, but they cheered like I was Evil Knievel. Eventually, I had to leave, backpacking trip and all, but before I went, they gave me this vest with my very own patch. It said, "Yankee Doodle, honorary idiot." Very nice.
Very
To
nice.
this-
Very classy.
yes, very classy. And to this day, I have that vest hanging in my closet. And anytime life gets boring, I just remember the time I accidentally joined a secret motorcycle club and lived the tell. There you go.
Wow. That's a story right there, man.
Yeah, man, it's an adventure right there,
Oh, good old Carl.
Carl.
He'll get you where you need to go.
That's right. It's a party.
I like the part about him waking up with someone else's boots on. That gave me a visual. It just made me laugh.
That's how you know you had a good time.
That's right. Wake up wearing somebody's something,
Yeah,
That was fun. I also picture him riding through this field on his motorcycle and like falling over and then laughing at him. Oh my
right.
gosh, that dude was he was up for anything.
Heck yeah.
Is there any way we could tie him back as the kid who pooped from the tree? Down for anything.
It very well could be.
Let's think about it. It could be the guy who
Simple.
pooped from the tree.
Could have been.
Yeah. All right.
So
now we've identified the tree pooper.
yeah. All right, Tim, bring us home with that final story of the day.
And this is not a serious one. This one's
Okay,
a little
good.
more fun.
Good.
All right. So weddings are supposed to be joyful, celebratory, full of love, laughter, and maybe a few tears during the father-daughter dance. But every once in a while, someone ruins the vibe. And in this story, these guests just didn't ruin the vibe. They buffet rated it. So picture this. A beautiful summer afternoon wedding. Think white chairs on a lawn, string lights overhead, a bride glowing with happiness, and a buffet table lined with mouth-watering food. We're talking baked chicken, roasted veggies, pasta, dinner rolls, salads. Are you hungry now hearing that?
Come on now. I haven't had anything to eat today.
Yeah, same. Oh, I lied. I had some eggs. Anyhow, dinner rolls, salads, all set up beautifully, just waiting for guests to be called up by the table. Now, the key phrase is they're waiting to be called up. Now, as a DJ for many years, we had to do the table one, please report to the buffet. Please stay seated to your turn. I've been there many times. Anyhow, but before the DJ could even announce table one, you're up, a group of guests, we'll call them the Tupperware squad, decided they were not about to be polite waiting for their turn. Nope, they walked straight up to the buffet like it was Black Friday at Walmart, and they started shoveling food, not onto their plates, but into plastic grocery bags. That's right, plastic grocery bags. Not just one or two either. One woman pulled out 3. Another guy had a gallon-sized Ziploc. Someone even brought a small cooler. A cooler, y'all. You bring some? Were you showing up at the cooler at a wedding? Anyhow, they were scooping up chicken breasts, piles of pasta, even whole rolls of bread. Some of them were double bagging like they were prepping for a hurricane. No shame, no hesitation. Meanwhile, other guests, those who were waiting to be called up like normal humans, were standing there in a stunned silence, mouths open, holding their empty plates, watching the buffet disappear. The poor bride was told what was happening during her photo session. She came back to find trays nearly empty before half the guests had even eaten yet. She asked one of the rogue food hoarders if they were taking leftovers for someone who couldn't attend. The woman, without missing a beat, goes, "Oh no, we just figured there was plenty, and my freezer's been empty anyway." Who says this? And they're like, "Your freezer? Are you kidding me?" This wasn't a soup kitchen. This was someone's wedding. The bride was mortified. The groom was furious. The caterer looked like he was about to cry. To make things worse, they weren't even close friends or family members. They were distant cousins or plus ones who barely even knew the couple. Reddit exploded with opinions, of course. One person commented, "They treated the buffet like it was a Costco sample day." Another said, "Bring your own bags to a wedding buffet should be a criminal offense."
Right?
Well, yeah, no, like, dude, so first of all, let's go back to the guy with the cooler. Like, how did no one even watch this guy come in with the cooler and question what's in the cooler? Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the couple ended up having to order pizza later in the evening for their own reception because there was nothing left to eat, just even for the bridal party. And the kicker, someone from the Tupperware squad later posted pictures of their wedding leftovers on Facebook, bragging about all the free food they took home. Yep, you can't make this stuff up. So let this be a lesson. Don't be that guest. Eat what you're served, take what you're offered, and maybe, just maybe, leave the hefty bags at home, because weddings are for celebrating, not stockpiling like it's Doomsday Prepper Fest 2025.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
that is so grubby. I actually know somebody like that. That's what I'm going to say. Somebody.
We got some tea.
Yeah. Who's done that before? Not anybody in my immediate family. Just
FYI.
It's like the 7 degrees kind of thing. You might be able to figure it out. So,
oh my gosh,
we're just gonna leave it at that. But I mean, seriously, dude, could you imagine that? I would want to throttle these people. I would send the groomsmen, take the food, bring it back, dump it back on the trays, get that dang cooler out of here.
God bless, man. God bless.
I still understand the mindset. I don't get it.
No, just people sometimes they don't have common sense.
Like, I mean, this is beyond common sense, even.
Yeah,
like, just
it's like have some common courtesy, Common
courtesy. There you go. Like, just do like what every other human's doing there at this party.
Oh,
anyhow, these stories were good, man. These Reddit stories were really good. Well,
Reddit stories get you riled up. That's why we wanted to do this episode. And then we also have some more coming to you next week. with our
Woo!
Reddit.
Oh boy, do we
or two.
ever. Yeah, we got a lot of good ones coming your way too. So if you have any crazy stories or things like that, or comments or questions about the things we talked about today, Billy, where can they hit us up at?
Check us out on Facebook. Hit that follow button, and leave some love on some comments on some videos. We post all of our content there. We're on Instagram. We're on the TikTok. We are on YouTube. So
Yes,
if you're
we are.
listening to this, we are very thankful. Go ahead and just leave a 5-star written review. If you're on
Please.
Apple Podcast, or if you're on Spotify, hit that 5 stars. We would much appreciate it. But if you're listening to this and want to see these faces, see our expressions, see me almost throw up from Tim's stories, go
Yeah.
over to YouTube. Check us out. All the Everything Podcast. Easy peasy. Lemon
Give us a
squeeze.
chance on the tube. Give it to us. We need it. Speaking of what Billy said about 5-star written review, we haven't talked about it lately, but I think it's time to give away more gift cards. We haven't had new reviews in a hot second.
Yeah, we would love some.
Please just take 5 seconds to leave a quick review for us, and you have a chance at winning a gift card. It's just that simple. Well, anyhow, thank you again for joining us for another amazing episode of All the Everything Podcast. We can't wait to join you again next time. I hope you guys have a great week.
Bye, y'all.